Hi, it's Heather again from Flowers by Jenny Lynn. And I was challenged by Renee Tucci, AIFD, PFCI, to create a miniature flower arrangement. I have to make 5 of them, 1 per day. So today is going to be in a Matryoshka doll. So the fun thing about the Matryoshka dolls is, of course, that they come apart into pieces. And each one of these is going to become a little arrangement. The challenge with this is that they're made of wood, so that's not a great container to hold flowers in, to hold water. So, luckily this is only for a 1 day, a couple minutes display. But if this were to be something that I was going to use on a larger scale in a wooden container, I would line this with plastic or something called polyfoil, which is foil that can conform, but it's got plastic on both sides, which can hold the water in or the foam. So for today, we're going to use sheet moss. And I have used this in the past as a covering for the foam, but in this case, we're going to use it as a water source, and we're going to dip it in water. And that's going to hold in moisture. It gets a little soggy. And then that's going to go inside our containers here. So I have water sources for 2 of my little containers. And they hold a decent amount of water, not a ton, but just enough. And for this little guy, I'm going to tuck the little hairy edges down and in. Again, trying to create that clean look that we're always going for. Okay, so in 2 of them, as you can see, I've left them blank. So for those, I'm just going to cap off their tops with some flowers that fill that space. So for this middle guy here, I'm going to put the head of a Kermit pom-pom mum. It is very small, it's a button mum. So he fills that spot just like that. That was easy. And the other one that I'm going to fill is the very littlest guy. I knew that the moss would not fit in there well. So what I have here is the heads off of the Buplorum. I'm just cutting off. So this is multi-flowers on a little stem, and I'm just cutting it right off to the nub of where they all intersect. And that can sit right there on the top. Again, this is just for an in-the-moment kind of a design. These 2, the mum would last a bit, but Buplorum is a little bit more fragile. So now to work in our pieces that have the moss in there, we're going to add in some of the grevillea foliage because we're going to make a little design here. And I've cut down some pieces so that we've got them closer to the size that I would need here. And I've even taken this one piece of grevillea foliage and cut it in half because it was a little longer than I needed it to be for my design. And I'm going to search on my stem here to find a smaller piece. Got one. And again, cutting it down, always at an angle. It's just out of habit that I cut the flowers at an angle. All right, another small flower that we have here is the yellow solid aster or solidago. Again, cutting on an angle and placing it within our foam. Yes, should have had my phone a little further away, but hey, that's what this is all about. You guys are in my day in my life. And get a little aster in there. Okay, and then in my last little moss piece here, this is where it gets a little tender. And these are some cilia from my garden. They are little teeny tiny flower. And then I have some heads of them that I'm just going to carefully place. I'm going to take one of the tops of the cilia and also put it over into this one as well. That way there's a little bit of continuity of color. Because we've got the green and the green. There's a little bit of yellow in the center of the Buplorum flowers. So that is a continuation of the Solidego. And then the cilia we have both in the larger piece and over here in the smaller piece. So Renee Tucci, thank you for giving me this challenge, and I hope that you all have enjoyed watching me work on a very, very small scale. And I'll be making more videos on these small arrangements throughout the week. This is Heather from Flowers by Jenny Lynn. Enjoy flowers.